there are some just quick notes that we do want to highlight just so everything can go as smoothly as possible. So I do want to start off by letting you all know that this session will be recorded. So if you happen to have to hop off and don't get to see the whole thing, you will get to see it at a later point. I just do want to encourage everybody to keep your video camera off and muted as much as possible, just so we don't want to just interrupt this amazing conversation tonight. And last but not least, please feel free to introduce yourself in our chat. This is a informal conversation, but we want to engage in you. That's why all of us are here today. So engage with us in the chat, use reactions, emojis, all that good stuff. And we'll do our best to continue to engage with you as well, all right? So just to start off this event in the best way possible, here at Humber College and University of Guelph-Humber, we just like to start all our events with land acknowledgements, just to really acknowledge those who have walked the ground in the territory that we get the chance to study on and really just go to school on. So Humber College is located within the traditional and the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, known as Adobocoke, the place of the Black Alders. In Mississauga language, the region is uniquely situated along the Humber River watershed, which historically provided an integral relationship and integral connection for the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples between the Ontario Lakeshore and the Lake Simcoe / Georgian Bay regions. Now home to people of numerous nations, Etobicoke continues to provide a vital source of interconnection for all. So, what are our best practices for this fire chat conversation today? And it's probably things that you're familiar with if you're in your Zoom class. But today we are going to be using closed captioning. So if you see some words running across the bottom of your screen, that's just so we can be as accessible as possible. Once again, please type all your questions into our chat and we'll try our best to get to as many of them as possible at the end for our Q&A session. There's also a raise hand feature. So if you have a question and you want to ask it that way, you can also raise your hand. And last but not least, feel free to click the gallery mode for the best viewing, which I'm pretty sure you want tonight. So you can just go to that section where you can choose what viewing you want and choose the gallery mode, just so you can see all three of us as we're having our conversation. Okay, so let's do some introductions, quick and sweet, so we can get to our conversation. My name is Stefan Thomas. I go by many hats, motivational speaker, but I'm also, most importantly, an alumni from the University of Guelph-Humber. I also currently work at the University of Guelph-Humber, and I love all things content, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of that. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah, I live in Toronto, the 6th. Now, let's start introducing the people who we're here to see. And we're going to start off with Blake Carter, who humbly is, in my opinion, one of the best radio hosts that this city has seen. So I think Blake kind of loves that nice, sweet intro, but you're going to really get a big introduction to her personality when we have this conversation in a few minutes. And next up to the plate, we have Brandon Gonez, who is no stranger to Humber College. He was here last year for this amazing event, and now he's back for the second time for the sequel. So we love Brandon. He is a media personality, TV host. Many know him famously as being on TV24, and now he does run his own show as well. So we welcome Brandon back to the stage. Okay, so those are our quick, sweet introductions of Blake and Brandon. So now I'm going to invite both my friends to come onto the screen so we can start off this amazing conversation. I see Blake is up first, and I see Brandon has made it on. Welcome, both of you.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome.
Hey, everyone.
So Blake, Brandon, tell me, how are you feeling? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm really good. We were just texting before this, and I said it's nice to get to be the one being interviewed and not have to come up with the questions or prep anything.
No, I can imagine. Well, I know we have limited time, and I know there's so many questions to go through, so I'm gonna dive straight into it. Feel free if any of you ever want to jump in, even if the question is not directed straight to you, just let me know, because we'd love to hear both of your wisdom tonight. All right, awesome. So let's start with the first question, kind of short and sweet, kind of tippy toeing our way in. So the first question is for both of you, and we just wanted to start with your school days. You know, where most people kind of start. So did you always know that you wanted to get into the field of broadcasting? And how did you know that this was the space for you?
I'm gonna go first.
Yeah, ladies
Take
first,
it.
always.
I definitely, thank you. I definitely did not know I wanted to get into broadcasting. I don't think I ever even realized like that was something I could do. Growing up, I always wanted to be an actress, and that's what I thought I was going to do. I did a lot of dancing and acting and theater and that type of stuff. And then radio for me was super random. I took a job at a radio station as a receptionist, and that's how I discovered how much I love broadcasting and that I wanted to get into it. So I had no clue. It came at me by chance.
Mm, I love that.
Oh, actually, like I never heard that story before, so I'm like so
Oh,
interested.
really?
I'm like, that is so sick. For me, I actually fell into it by accident. I always wanted to go into business. That's what I originally went to university for. And while I was taking business, I realized I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I attended York University, and I ended up going to broadcasting school at Seneca. And it was just because like Seneca kept promoting. They had these flyers in the York hallway. I know I was the guy that read the flyers, so and it was like I just remember them like the flyers always saying like, "Do you like to ask questions? Are you somebody that is intrigued by the news?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me." And I just got excited by that, and I realized that my passion was kind of more into storytelling and reporting and seeking the truth and getting answers and asking questions. But things come around full circle because look, I'm back in business. So I mean, hey.
Ah, and I think both of your stories are so intriguing and I think very motivating for a lot of people because I know there's the perception that coming out of high school, you have to know what
No.
you're supposed to do. And I think clearly through both of your stories, that's not the case at all. So I appreciate both of you for sharing that.
You're
Well,
welcome.
I guess the next question, and by the way, if you ever want to like add a little bit more, please feel free to, all right? So next question up is, I know that Humber has a robust broadcasting program from TV to radio to videography. So what's that one golden nugget, if you can only give one, of advice that you would just give to these students while they're studying their craft?
I think on my end, it would be to take as many things as you can, learn as many things as you can. Because like I went a different route. I worked at a station. I got in that way. But I know so many people in this industry that my co-host Peter, for example, he wanted to be a producer, and that's all he studied and worked on, and now he's a host on the mic. So I think take all the different levels of media that you can because you just never know. You might think you want to be in front of the camera. You might realize, no, I'm a behind the scenes person. So if you already have the knowledge to do the behind the scenes, then you can pretty much move whichever way you want.
I agree.
That's such good advice. That is such good advice. And like even to echo what Blake is saying is like as you're, you know, taking as much in, like make as many mistakes as possible. Like honestly, I get so annoyed when people are like, "Oh, I'm so afraid of making mistakes. I want to be perfect." First off, nobody's perfect. Like
Nope.
not even the president or the prime minister is perfect, okay? Like everybody makes mistakes. And what I like to remind people is what did you learn from that mistake? So you don't repeat that same mistake. But life is literally about mistakes. And so while you're a little bit younger, okay, because we're all still young here,
We're all young.
while you're a little bit younger and you don't have as many responsibilities,
Yeah.
like make those mistakes, like take the biggest risks that you can right now, because especially as a student, okay, this is the one thing in my program, I never had an internship. I so wish I had an internship. Like I had to find a job like out of school on my own without any connections in the industry. But like as a student though, you can literally go and reach out to any business, any media outlet, whatever, And you just being a student is an easier way in the door, because
Totally.
you're not looking for a job necessarily right now. You're looking for experience. So you can add extra value. And I'll be honest with you, like a media company doesn't have to worry about adding you to the job, the job list, to their head count. So use that to your advantage. Like reach out to whoever you want to reach out to, any business, show, whatever you want to reach out to. If you have something to offer, something you want to learn, or something you want to gain, reach out, say that, put that out there. Say, hey, I'm a student at Humber. I'm a student at Guelph-Humber. Like, I want to learn from you because you really excite me, or I want to learn about your business because this is what I want to get into. And I'm a student, and can you help me? Likely 70 to 80%, somebody's going to say yes. Now, if you're looking for a job, that goes a little bit down, depending on what the economy is. So use that to your advantage.
Oh,
Yeah, I definitely agree on that, because I have students reaching out to me all the time who want to chat, want advice, or use me for a school project or whatever it is. But then I meet them, build kind of a relationship with them. And then when they are looking for their internship placement or something out of work, like they already have that relationship.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think I'll address the elephant in the room as a previous student, because I know typically students will say, oh no, I don't want to reach out to them. I'm gonna be a bother, or oh my gosh, it's like Blake or Brandon, like he's never or she's never gonna like read my email or my message. But typically, like the infamous saying is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Yeah,
and like
100%.
100%.
If they don't get back to you, who cares? Reach out to somebody else. Just keep
And that's the
asking.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like Blake said, reach out, continue reaching out. Like, there's so many people that you can reach out to. Of course, some people are not going to get back to you. I mean, people are busy. Like, that's the reality. Don't take offense to that. Don't be hurt, and don't sulk in your feelings like, oh my God, they didn't get back to me. Like, no, it's okay.
And they might have not even seen the message. Like, sometimes the message request box is a little crazy. So sometimes some slip through, right? But yeah, don't be in your feelings. They might just be busy. They might have meant to message you back. Nobody knows what's going on in anyone else's life, but just reach out. Reach out to as many people as you can. Try to start conversations and connections while you're in school, like while you can.
100%.
And can I add on to that a little bit too? Because Blake brought up something so pivotal there: connections, networking. While you're in school right now, the people around you, you do not know where they're going to end up in the next 5-10 years. And what you're actually investing in right now as part of your education and your tuition, right, is, yes, you're getting an education, but you're also gaining access to a social network that people who didn't pay that money don't have access to. So how you're treating your peers will be a reflection in 5 to 10 years. Maybe somebody's a host of a show. Maybe they're owning their own business. Maybe they're running a division of a business. They might be the person that you're actually going to reach out to get a potential job. You never know. So network with the students that are around you, with your peers, with your classmates, and be the best person now. Don't be, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but anyway, don't be an a-hole. Don't.
Yes. And then wait till you need them and then hit them up like, hey, remember me? I was such a dick. Cool, but need a job.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to how important it is to be nice. Something that you think would be simple, but just be nice and understand, be authentic, knowing that every moment counts, like every interaction counts, and not wait until that moment, like you said.
And this industry is so small. You work with the same people over and over again. A boss that fired you might rehire you. A coworker, might become your boss, or your next station or TV, wherever you go. We all work together. We all know each other. We all talk. So you got to really be a good person, and because like the connections is key to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Connections is key. If you don't remember anything, and there's a lot of things you're going to want to remember, connections is key. All right. So we're going to pivot a little bit and talk a little bit about personal development. So the next question for both of you is, I know one of the most common skills that students really want to brush up on is public speaking. So coming from someone who is trying to pursue public speaking as a career, I know how difficult it can be to just put yourself out there. So how have both of you been able to master that skill of public speaking, and what do you think students can do to just get better at it in small ways?
Brandon, you want to go?
Yeah. So I always had like a little bit of a fear of public speaking. I don't know, like when I would speak in my head, I was always comfortable. I was like, oh my God, this sounds good. But when I would say it out loud in front of people,
like singing.
And so what I actually did when I was in university is that I took a public speaking class. Like there was a course, and you could get a credit for it.
Yeah.
And so I took that course, and I swear to you, it was every day going into that class. Like I would, like my glands under my armpits, like like it was just embarrassing. I'd be walking around New York with these glands, and people are like, "Why is this guy sweating?" Because I was so nervous of public speaking, but it was the best thing I ever did because I learned the best techniques in terms of how to zone in, whether you're talking through a microphone or talking to a lens or talking to an audience of 5 or 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, it doesn't matter. You learn the techniques of how to zone in and how to focus and how to realize that it's not about what people are thinking. It's about your comfortability of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so if you have the opportunity, I would take a public speaking course, or if it's too late for you to take a public speaking course, go do stand-up comedy. Take your friends, find your best friend, go do some stand-up comedy. So at least you have some people cheering you when your joke falls flat.
Yeah.
And do it a couple times and let it out of your system. Because if you can get through that, trust me, you'll be good.
Yeah.
That's funny you say the stand-up comedy, because a lot of my friends in radio, that's what they've done to kind of get better at their storytelling and their public speaking. They have, and I was going to also to piggyback that, improv classes, acting classes. And I think that that's where I was preparing myself for this when I didn't even realize. And often when working with other people, like the advice our boss has given us has been to my co-hosts and stuff, go and take an improv class, because like you got to be able to be quick and go back and forth. And I think like I didn't realize I was learning those skills with how to think on my feet, because there's always going to be a time when the script goes sideways, the teleprompter goes sideways, you forget what you're thinking. Like life happens, things happen. So I think it's super important to learn to think on your feet, and like when different things come at you, to be able to quickly pivot, because you don't know, Brandon, you could be interviewing somebody and you have all the questions laid out. This is what you're going to do. But they say one thing different. Now the conversation's gone this way or something. You don't want to have to be like, oh, actually, back to my schedule. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's super important. So improv classes, acting classes, just to get more comfortable. And then it's just a matter of doing it. We were talking about this on a little bit earlier. I still get nerves before I do right now, before doing this. I've had a little bit of anxiety, but I feel like nerves are good. Nerves like remind you that you're human and that you feel things. But I know whenever I just go and do it, when I get on that stage or the screen, whatever it is, it just happens. Like when you know this is your thing and you want to do it, it just, no matter how scared you are, I feel like we all get a little bit of anxiety walking up that stage, wherever we have to go. But once you get out there and once you do it, it's magic. And there's no better feeling. Like it's a high.
It is. Yeah.
Once you get yourself up on that stage,
have
your moment, pee your pants, and then get up there and do it.
And I think that's so vital, because I know like fear is that big thing that stands in between people. And I guess the bodily feeling of fear and anxiety stops people from doing it. But I think the worst part is that fear causes people to think they can't do it, when in reality, like if it's already in you, you just have to, like you said, just do it. Like
use that fear, have it motivate.
Exactly.
And then sometimes you force yourself. Like I'll say yes to things, and I'm like, like the day of, I'm not going to really want to do it, but too bad, because I got to get better. I got to practice, and also you got to work. Bills got to get paid, so just do it. Facts.
And another point too is like, this is why it's so important to start off small sometimes. Like especially for those in the broadcasting program watching this. I mean, I remember when I was in broadcasting school, and there was like so many of my peers who were like, I'm not going to take any job that's not in Toronto. I was like, what?
Good luck.
like especially nowadays, like you don't need a miracle. But like that's the best thing about being in a small market. Like I remember when I got my first job in Western Canada, this small town called Smithers. Y'all can look it up on a map, because probably none of you know. But I know Blake knows. The biggest from BC.
Oh, I know. I started also in Saskatoon, so I did definitely get started.
But those places allow for you to make those mistakes, right? And to learn yourself and find your voice and get comfortable with, hearing your voice, whether it's on the radio or on
Mhm.
TV or on a computer screen, whatever you're doing, whatever media you're doing. And you want to embrace that journey. So it will prepare you, excuse me, for when you do come to Toronto and then you're dealing with millions and millions of people and executives on the top floor.
Yeah.
Right. And sorry,
Mhm.
Mhm.
last thing I will add, it's also okay if you still are scared of it and maybe like large crowds make you uncomfortable. That's fine. If you can get up there and do your thing, then you can leave and be awkward as you want. I know most of the people I've worked with, it's funny. I don't know if it's with TV too, Brand, if you found this, but they might be great presenters, announcers, whatever. But then in real life, they're so socially awkward and
Yes.
uncomfortable with people. But they can get on the mic and a personality comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up too much if it's still not fully your thing, because you can get up and do your job. It doesn't mean you have to always be on and always be a presenter,
Oh,
you know?
that's so good. That's so good. You guys are tempting me to stay here, but but I think a facet of public speaking and anything, whether it's radio, broadcasting, and a lot of the things we're going to talk about, I know it can be very difficult to stay motivated. I know it's a big struggle for students, whether it's homework, whether it's coming to class, but I'm sure that in the industry, staying motivated is pretty hard as well. So I'm curious to know, how do both of you stay motivated on your journey to just personal growth, and how do you kind of stay on track with not just your small tasks, but also the big ones that you're trying to work on?
Mm.
um, okay, so I think for me, probably staying motivated, number one, like I said, I have bills to pay. So
Yep.
I've got to be, I've got to do my job. And I like a certain lifestyle and I like nice things and I like my pets and I like traveling. So I've got to keep going up levels. I'm not comfortable just staying at like
Yeah.
one level. I want to get better. It's also, I've really learned in the last few years that I'm in competition with myself and not other people. So I just want to get better and be the best version that I can be. I've also made a lot of friends in this industry, so that helps. So I have a lot of media friends, and so we kind of bounce ideas off each other. We collaborate, we come together, we cry together, we laugh together, or I see what they're doing, and I'm like, oh, I could be doing that too. So,
Yeah.
I feel like it's truly who you surround yourself with. You've got to make sure you have a good group of friends, family around you who help also motivate you and give you a little bit extra energy when you're feeling down. Um, and really just wanting to just like love yourself and bettering yourself and like I need to do this for me. I want to take on this new skill or learn this new thing or go for this new job because I want to be the best at it.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah, that's some wait, that's really good. That's really good. I go back to my why. And I feel like anything you do in life, like you should ask yourself, why are you doing this? And write it down. And so, like for me, I know my why I wanted to go into media. And I go back to that on days where you're dealing with wild people, when you're dealing with stressful bosses, when you're dealing with stressful interviews, like when you're dealing, you deal with it all. Like it's life,
Yeah.
right? We all go through it. And then some days you feel down, some days you feel unmotivated, but always tap back into your why. And as soon as you tap back in, you remind yourself, right, this is why I did this, right? Like write down your journey. I mean, one of the things that I always love doing, as well as like when I was out west, and it was like the first time I ever moved out west, and like I didn't have any friends in the beginning. It took me a minute to kind of adjust and figure out my life and figure out like how to talk to these folks out here and all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I started journaling a little bit, not every day, because I also love sleep. Um,
We do, trust me.
right, listen, sleep is necessary. But like for the few journal entries that I made, like sometimes I'll go back and I'll read like where I was at that point in life, and then you look back at like, oh wow, like there's
Yeah.
been so much growth, right? So much, and it's like that. Then it just kind of reignites this flame, and you're like, wow, I got from there to here. I can go anywhere,
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
you
so
know?
true. And I think,
You're so right. Writing it down is so key. And I know
yeah,
like manifesting is like everyone's talking about that these days. And
Yeah.
journaling is such like a hot word right now. But it is so true. And it's crazy when you go back when I've written down like maybe at the start of the year the things I want to achieve. And because Because like sometimes I write them down and forget about it. But when I go back and look and I'm like, wait a second, I did
Sure.
this, and this. And, and I didn't even clue in. Also, I think too, just to keep you motivated, because you're going to have days where you feel like crap and you don't want to make your content or do your stuff. And also I feel like, don't be so hard on yourself. If you need to take a day off or 2 days off or whatever, and just have a minute and be to yourself, okay, and then get back at it. But I also think, Brandon, you reminded me of it, when you have a bad interview, bad day, you can have a whole bunch of love and great positive comments, and then you'll see one negative thing. A boss will say something negative, someone on the internet will. I think save your wins. So when you get a really great email from somebody telling you, how happy they were with your work, or you get a really great comment or a DM or whatever, I sent a screenshot stuff and then I put it in a folder, and then you could go back and just kind of like give yourself a little boost. Like when you're starting to let something silly on the internet get the best of you, be like, wait a second, I have this person, this person, this person, this person who all said I touched their life in some way. So no, because sometimes you can't always be your own cheerleader. Like you should try to every day, but sometimes you need a little reminder. So like Brandon said, journal, write it down, go and check where you used to be to where you are now. And you'll impress yourself. Sometimes you don't even realize the little wins you've had that are major wins.
Major.
And I think that's the thing. We often don't give ourselves enough credit as we should.
Oh.
And I think sometimes it can be, I would call it self or false humility, where it's just like, oh no, like someone like, oh my God, that's like so great you did this. I'm like, oh no, it's just minor. It's like, no, like that's big. You woke up and you went to school, even if it's that simple. Like no one knows what you're going through. You got up and you pushed yourself. So I think celebrating our wins and knowing your why.
Celebrate.
Yeah, so crucial.
Sorry, my dog is really rude and he's in the background.
Not at all. We love pets. So this next question is specifically for Brandon. So after leaving Bell Media and creating your own media company, which is Gonez Media, which we really love. A little round of applause. What was your first win, as we're talking about wins? What was that first win that really made you feel confident that you're doing the right thing? I know there was many.
What was the first win? The first win was like actually making it to launch day. Like that time is a whole, like that time could take up this entire chat if you really wanted to get into it. So we're gonna have to skim over. We have to do this another time. We'll have to come back talk about just that period of time. But the first one was really, like I like to set certain goals, right? And I remember one of my mentors telling me, set achievable goals. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, like you wanna attain this many views in 6 months, right? Like you don't want to be the biggest, you know what I mean? Like something that's attainable, right? And then small goals will ultimately lead you to your biggest goal. So my goal after I left Bell Media was, let's get to launch day, which was January 17th, and let's make sure that episode comes out, because if it doesn't come out, like what the hell are we doing? And were there technical issues? 100%. Did shit hit the fan? 100%. Again, that's a whole other story. But we got the episode out, and that's all that mattered. And it was the relief of finally saying we got the first one.
Yeah.
Like we got the first one out. Like, okay, now we got to get the second one, right?
Yeah.
And then so that was the next goal. Let's get the second one. And the third goal was like, okay, let's get to 10 episodes. So we got to 10 episodes. And it was like, okay, let's get a guest that we really want. And we did this in the pandemic, right? I started this in the pandemic. So I remember like the person who I really wanted was Dr. Tam. Like she was like, she was on the screen all the time, but nobody got to sit down with her and talk one-on-one. I remember saying to the team, we got to find a way to get Dr. Tam. Nobody has sat down one-on-one with her. She's the biggest name in news right now. Let's get her. We got her, within 5 weeks, right? So it's just like little goals like that. And then you start to get, it leads you to your bigger goal and your bigger goal and your bigger goal. So yeah, I would say, my first win was like, we dropped that episode on the date that we said that we were going to drop it. Lord knows there was a lot of things going on in the background.
And it was a good episode. Oh man. And I think what I love about that story is that a lot of people like to jump straight to the finish line, and not really esteem that just stepping to the starting line is so important.
Yes.
Right?
Why are you trying to get to the finish line so fast? You got like, you know what I mean? Like once you get to the finish line, like what do you do next? You know what I mean? Like, enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, enjoying the journey. That's something that took me a while to learn. Okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Because I was that guy, like, out of school. I was like, okay, I'm leaving my city to go to this far-flung place that I've
Yeah.
never heard before. Like, I just want to be back in Toronto. I just want to be back in Toronto. And it was just like, actually, the journey getting back to Toronto, I appreciate so much because I learned the most about myself. I learned
Yeah.
resilience. I learned self-confidence. I met some of the best people who are some of my best friends to this
Yeah.
day. Like, it was so much fun, the journey. Like, I'll be honest, some of my friends who I worked with out west, when we got to our respective places that we wanted to get to, whether it was Vancouver or Toronto, we actually felt sad for a second because there
Wow.
was this charm in the journey of like, okay, we're running to something, you know, we're moving to something, we have this goal, and then we get here, you're like, damn, now I gotta figure out another goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people don't realize, like, once you get to the goal that you want, you're gonna want another goal, and then that's another fear and a whole another bag of worms or can of worms, whatever the saying is, bag
Yeah.
of gum worms or something like that.
All
I like the sour worms though.
Well,
You know
the sour keys?
the gummy
maybe
ones.
that's the best one. Something like that. You know, the ones that have the sugar on them.
I think I know
Yeah.
which ones you're talking about.
Mm.
All right.
Might
Ooh,
bring those now. Do you have those to share? What's
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
like, we gotta get a pack.
I'm gonna have to get to the store. I'm gonna have to order some off of Uber or something.
No, not Uber. That's student debt right there. We don't
Yeah.
we do not condone student debt. Not in this chat. But the next question is for Blake, and I just wanted to know: have you ever kind of experienced a moment of clarity in your career where you kind of just knew that you were in the right place at the right time?
Yeah, I definitely have, and it took me a really long time to get there. And like Brandon was just talking about the journey, and you doubt yourself, and because my story was a little different, because I went from a receptionist, I was in Vancouver, then I went and started my first job in Saskatoon with no experience. I didn't go to broadcasting school, so I had to learn everything on the spot. And so that was terrifying, and I always kind of felt like I'm the underdog at all times. And then I went to Calgary, and I came to Toronto, and I still, like, I'm getting these jobs, I'm making these moves, but I still kind of felt like I'm faking it, like imposter syndrome. Like everyone's gonna figure out that I was just a receptionist who, used to dance and take acting classes, but really doesn't know how to be a broadcaster. Like I'm faking it for everybody. I'm tricking everybody. And I had an opportunity when I was actually at Bell to do an audition for some TV stuff. And the head of TV there, she said to me, things didn't work out. It was a weird time at Bell. There's a lot of movement, a lot of changes, but we made a really good relationship. And she took me for coffee, and she was just saying, because I guess I didn't realize I kept apologizing for myself and kind of downplaying my work and my talent. And she stopped me and she's like, you need to stop saying sorry and apologizing for where you are and what you're doing. You would not have made it to Toronto, the biggest market in Canada, to be on one of the biggest stations in Canada if you weren't talented. You couldn't fake it that far. Maybe you could have got your foot in the door and got your first job, but without hard work and results, like you wouldn't have made this. So like you need to be proud of where you are, and you deserve to be here. And you need to believe that first. And so she said that to me, and it was a really weird time in my life. And also I didn't get the TV thing. So I was feeling bad. It took me a long time, even after she said that, and it kept sticking in my head. And there's just been a couple moments like since then in my job where I had a really great interview or really just great radio bit that went off and lots of calls and response. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
wait a second. I do know what I'm doing.
I got this.
You know what I mean? Like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And you'll know, you'll get that those chills, that excited feeling, even just hearing Brandon talk about his experience in the journey and enjoying the journey because you're racing to get to that big city or that big job and appreciating these moments. But yeah, when you do get here and you're in it and you really just start to like back yourself and have confidence in yourself. Like it took me, so I've been doing this now for about 13 years, and it probably took almost 10 years to feel like this is where I should be. And I'm finally feeling like I'm confident in it now. So it takes a minute. I hope for everybody else, they get over themselves a lot sooner, stop apologizing, and believe in themselves right away. Don't wait 10 years like I did.
Oh boy. And
That's
I think
such good advice.
Yeah, I think everyone should take a moment in the chat. Just write, I believe in me, and I'm proud of me, because I think we don't take the
Just
time
going
to
to
say
school,
that.
like you said, just getting up every day in this crazy world is a huge win. and
Yeah.
going to school and, you know, reporting in and doing your assignments, like joining this chat right now. You are doing something to help better yourself in your career and take the next step. So be proud of yourself. Like you're
Yeah.
on the right track.
Preach, Sister
Jeez.
Blake.
Wow. I feel like I'm so full.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm gonna throw the next question back at you, Blake. Um,
Okay.
so I kind of see this theme of change and trust in the process. So I know, Blake, you recently kind of had some unexpected change with
Yeah.
just
I
what
lost
happened
my
after
job. Yeah.
09/05. Um, so I'm just kind of curious to know, like, how are you in real time adapting to that change? And what advice would you give to students who, have to go through life transitions, especially if they're graduating?
I think, well, in anything in life, change is constant. Change is always coming. It always comes up when you least expect it. Just when you think you're comfortable, you're getting the hang of things. That's when life's like, haha, okay, let me mess with you. And yeah, recently I was working at Flow and they flipped the station. So now it's a completely different station and they sold the name. And obviously I'm out of work. How do I deal with that? I think in this industry, it's kind of known. Like they say, you're not even a real radio person unless you've been fired before. Like it's just
Wow.
how this industry goes. Change happens a lot. It's not uncommon to come in one day and they've blown up the whole station and all your coworkers have been let go, or they're changing the name, they're changing the demographic, or they're moving your show from this time to that time. It's kind of sadly just how this industry goes. And did it suck? Yes, of course it sucked. Like losing your job is terrifying financially. It's terrifying for your ego. What's everyone going to think of me? And like we have public jobs, so if you're kind of working behind the scenes and maybe you say you're in an office, you lose your job, maybe people at the office know, but the whole city doesn't know, you know? So once you kind of get rid of your ego and accept
Yeah.
that like this is this industry, this is what I signed up for. Really high highs and sometimes the lows suck and they're public and that sucks, but just accepting that this is what I signed up for and also making sure you have other things on the go. And that's kind of what I was really trying to do because I kind of knew some things were going to happen at the old Flow. So I started kind of preparing myself and even going back to the first question about courses and stuff. That's why I say learn as many things as you can, learn as many different skills, connect with as many different people, because if I didn't have other things on the go, if I was just doing that show and that was it, and that's all I had, my only identity, like I would have I'd be a mess right now. I wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to
for sure.
strategize. I would still be in my feelings. And I had a friend in radio who has since left radio say to me one day, he's like, radio doesn't define you. Job doesn't define you. There's so many other things that make you you. Like, so, you know, because maybe this one thing didn't work out. Okay, well, now I'm going to do something else. So, and that's the thing, things are changing so quickly. Look, we've all learned during the pandemic, all of our jobs have changed. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's just maybe and I'm trying to keep and trust me, there are days where I'm in my feelings and don't feel so great, but I'm really trying to be like excited for what's
Yeah.
next because I have no clue. My life has been crazy. I didn't expect to be here now, and I'm
Yeah, for
proud of myself
sure.
for getting here now. So it's a lot of like mental work. Again, a lot of surrounding myself with people who help keep me motivated, and then also allowing myself to cry my eyes out all day if I want to and drink a bottle of tequila. It happens.
Oh man, I appreciate your transparency, Blake. And I think that's so important because, like, at the end of the day, I think sometimes you nailed it on the head. People think they're roles. And I always say that, like, we're not our roles. Like, we are like a person. So at the end of the day, like, without all the experience, like, Blake is Blake. And by yourself, you're like amazing. Brandon is Brandon. And without the TV hosts and the school and the education and the credentials, like you're amazing on your own. And I think we kind of get wrapped up in I have to get that job in order to think that I'm somebody, when in reality, like you're somebody right
You
now.
already are.
You
You're
already
breathing.
are.
You're here. You're somebody.
Yeah, like your story matters, which is what I always have
That's
to say. So I appreciate that transparency. Any add-ons, Brandon, or just like that was good?
Yeah, like, you know, I just feel like we live in a society that is what have you done for me lately? And I think we put value on such materialistic things like what's your job title, or or the clout chasing of it
Your
all,
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, there people also have to remember a lot of all of that is superficial. at the end of the day, you can't take that with you to your grave. Like, the pandemic is not all of us something. I would hope it taught us that like, there has to be more to life than how many followers you have, who's following you, or what's your job title. What's happening in here?
Yeah.
Who do you have when the cameras are off or the TikToks aren't rolling or the camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's there for you? How are you treating those people?
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, I've worked with some of the biggest names in this industry. Okay. And some of the people who are the biggest names are the emptiest on the inside.
Yeah.
And like, I just hope, as there's a new generation that has seen a lot here, and you guys have the ability to change a lot. And I would just say, do things that are going to fulfill you. Okay. Yes, money's nice. I'm not going to say not having a good check isn't nice. Let me tell you something. I came from very humble beginnings. I got some nice little coins in my pocket. Thank God. God is good. We love you. And I'm going to pray for you. Hello. I like the lifestyle 100%.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our best to maintain such a lifestyle. However, that don't mean that it's all about the chase for more zeros, more zeros, more zeros. No, there has to be substance there. And so when life sometimes throws you a curveball, sometimes it's doing that for a reason. It's trying to shift you back into whatever it wants you to shift back into, or it's preparing you for a bigger thing that's coming your way. That's going to fulfill you even more. So if changes come, yes, what Blake said, yes, take your moment. Take several.
Yeah.
But also prepare yourself for the next moment that's coming.
Yes.
Oh man.
Skills. I like that.
Wow. Prepare yourself for the next moment that's coming. That's so good. We're gonna run along a little quickly because I'm pretty sure everyone has a lot of questions that you want to just flood at Blake and Brandon. So I'll just ask probably like two more. And if you have any questions, make sure just to flood them in the chat. We'll try to get to as much of them as possible. All right. So on the more somber tone, just given the heaviness of recent years, and I know you mentioned COVID-19 and hoping people learned from that. So from the pandemic to what's happening in the Ukraine right now, what are some of the biggest challenges that both of you had to face in your positions, just when speaking on these topics to your audience or to even family members or friends?
Ooh, this is. Do you mind if I go first here, Blake?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the whole Ukraine, the situation that's happening, the war on Ukraine. Okay, let's call it what it is. The war on Ukraine, Russia's war on Ukraine, is a difficult one, and I'm going to just speak from my experience. So my sister is married to a Ukrainian guy, and my nephews are half Ukrainian, and we're all very close. His family is we're conjoined like this now, and so I look at his mom, his brother, my brother-in-law. We call it brother-in-law. His family is my family, so it's a personal thing, in terms of what's happening in Ukraine. And as a journalist, somebody who has a media company and who reports on this and shares news about this, it's very important to share what's happening. But at the same time, as important as it is to share what's happening in Ukraine, and this is something we touched on one of our recent episodes, there are so many other crises, that are happening in the world right now. And Ukraine also isn't the only country that has been dealing with war, and Ukrainians are also not the only people fleeing their country from war. And so, as somebody who's a Black man, as a person of color who has friends who have families who've had to flee their country, we also have to understand there's such a massive humanitarian crisis happening in Yemen right now, where millions upon millions of people are about to go hungry by the end of the year. Where's the attention that deserves? Right? Look what's happening in Somalia. Like there's a lot of situations happening. And so I just want to remind everybody that what you're consuming here in Canada, largely, especially if you're consuming it from legacy media, sometimes is framed from a Euro dominant lens. And so as you're consuming that information, also remember there's a lot more information out there that you need to consume too. And if you're not getting it from the outlets that you're watching or listening to, continue to search for it.
Yes.
Because there are other people who need our help. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that need our help. And so when our government says we're going to open our borders and accept as many Ukrainian refugees, that's a good thing. because we need to help. But also ask your government to say, where's that energy when it comes to all of the other people who are fleeing? Is there a certain limit on certain countries compared to other countries? You know what I'm saying? Like, ask yourself that, especially if you're in media. You have to ask yourself that, because we need more well-rounded journalists who come from different perspectives, who are going to provide more of a full, balanced storytelling picture. We need that. Sorry, that's my rant.
No,
Not at all. Oh,
love
no
it.
apologies.
I think that's so important, what you just said, that people need to like do their own research, do your own trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Obviously, like I don't do news radio, so to speak, but I still obviously was touching on things. And I think for me, in my experience, what I learned is, first of all, it is like, Brandon, I don't know how you do the serious subjects all the time. When I try to avoid it as much as I can. I'm like, let's go back to talking about cheating and like relationship problems, like, but or celebrity gossip.
Problem.
But you know, there's things you can't avoid. I know, like there's been so many things. There's always things going on in life, but a really hard morning for me was the Ariana Grande concert when there was the bombing. And I remember coming in that morning and it was all unfolding. And normally I can hold it together on air, but I started like breaking down. And because it was a bigger, obviously that was a horrible, horrific, sickening thing that happened, but all my family's there. And so then I started thinking, I'm never going to get to travel now to see my family. Like, was the last time I saw them, the last time I'm going to see them. And it just really, like, I had a moment. I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, play a song. I had my little breakdown and I went back on. So I think for me, what's important is, first of all, like, we're human again. You're not going to always be able to report exactly how you want. Sometimes it's going to hit you. Like, sometimes you're able to hold it together and share the news the way it needs to come out. But other times you're going to break down. And I think for me, what has been important is sharing with my listeners and stuff. Okay, I'm not okay on this. This is really affecting me. I'm having a really hard time with this. And then also, when I'm not informed on something, like Brandon just said, I would never want to get on my show or any platform and just talk or spew or jump on top of something because it's a hot topic and share a hashtag. If I don't know about it, I'm not going to speak on it. And if I want to know more, I'm going to find an expert. So that's what was really important to me. You don't have to know everything with that, whichever job you're going to be in. But if you don't know about it, bring on Brandon onto your show. Reach out to a news station or a financial person, a politician, whoever you can. If you aren't fully sure about something, ask an expert. Don't be afraid to ask and learn more. It's only going to better your show. It's only going to better your content. It's only going to better you and your mind and what you know about it. So, be honest with people when things really affect you, when things, like bothering you. And there's more that people need to know about. And I think it's important that we have these conversations and share it, but share correct information as well.
Yeah. And I think that's something that's so necessary, especially in 2022, that piece of transparency and being authentic. And like both of you said, understanding that we don't have to have all the answers. There's always so much to learn, but it's key to be curious, to want to learn, and not, like you said, Brandon, just zoning in on one thing and forget about everything else that's been happening for years or for months. So I appreciate the wisdom that both of you guys gave to us in that sense. All right, I'm going to ask one last question, and then we'll see what our students have cooked up for both of you. And the last question is pretty informal, but I'm just curious to know what's next for both of you. What can we expect from both of you in the near future? It's like, I was not expecting that.
You want to start, Brandon?
Sure. You expect to see me tomorrow. I joke. What's in the future? This year again is about, we have some goals with the company, just to continue to grow, and to continue to produce content that is meaningful and that is going to help open people's eyes and provide perspectives that unfortunately are not being provided in legacy media. And that is one of our very poignant goals for this year. And it's also to continue working with some really great people and to build those people up. Because let me tell you, I'm not sure I understand. Not the Apple Watch doing the most.
Jeez, they were about to tell you.
On it.
No manners.
Jerry, you better relax. It's not about you right now, Jerry. It's not about you. I lost my train of thought, and that's what happens. So yes, yeah, just expect GMI to continue to grow. Expect some really amazing announcements. Expect some great collaborations, and just expect the unexpected. Like
Yeah.
that's what it is. Just expect the unexpected, and just cheer us on. That's all I ask. Don't have
Yeah.
no time for the haters. If you have the hater raid, stay over there.
Yep.
Don't send that energy over here. Please,
No.
do send it
Yeah.
back.
We were supporting you full-fledged. What about you, Blake?
I think for me, honestly, right now, I don't know exactly. I have like a few things I'm working on, but like I said, I'm kind of excited for what's next. So I'm not going anywhere. Like expect to see more of me. I hopefully on not just through radio speakers, but hopefully on your TV screen, your phone screens. I also am really hoping to get to kind of expand on some things I love. Just with like some interior stuff, some stuff with animals. Like I have a lot of things like in my brain that I want to work on, and I feel like right now is the best time. So I've got to get on it. So I guess all I have to say is like I'm not going anywhere. Like you're probably gonna be sick of me soon, but I'm gonna be everywhere. And yeah, just some more projects. Hopefully soon. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna end up yet, but
Yeah, I love that.
in your face.
You'll be here. We'll see you. And I think I'm expecting a lot of big stuff. I know y'all are going to do some big things. This is just the beginning for both of you. So I'm looking forward to seeing some amazing stuff. So we're going to dive straight into our student questions. So once again, any of you can feel free to just pick whichever one you resonate with, and we'll just kind of rapidly shoot them at you, all right? So our first question is, how do you keep up with the motivation of going through several interviews and rejections at the same time? That's a good question.
I, I just do it. Like I don't have a choice. For me, like I just yes, okay. I think there's finding a really good balance in taking care of yourself and self-care and mental health and all of that. But then there's also put on your pants and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, there's no other option. No one's coming in. I'm not going to just go marry some rich old elderly person and have them take care of my life. I am in charge of my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, trust me, there's days lately where I'm like, maybe that's my option. But I'm the only person that's going to take care of me. I'm the only person in charge of my career and my next direction and this and that. So for me, it's like, don't want to be so dramatic to say do or die, but it's do or die. I just got to do it. It's what makes me happy. It's my why. It's what fulfills me. So I just you gotta get over the rejection, get over the bad things that happen, and just keep going no matter what.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I always say like, what's the feeling you feel when you get rejected? Is it shame? Is it embarrassment? Right? Like if you dig deep into that feeling, okay, find it. And then the energy that you're putting into harboring on that feeling, try to redirect that energy into motivation. It's like anything in life, right? Like it's how we harness the energy of whatever happens to us. It could be sadness. You may have lost someone, or you lost your wallet and you could be feeling sad. But maybe if you were to redirect that energy, maybe that's actually motivation to be like, oh, now I'm going to work a couple hours of overtime because I got to get my wallet back and I want to get a new car.
Yeah.
Because I stole my car and thing. Now I'm going to upgrade my car. You know, I'm just saying, like, it's just how we think of things, right? Like these ways of like how we output our energy have been normalized to like, oh, we got rejected. Now we're supposed to feel sad. What? Like, who said that you're supposed to feel sad? Like, you got rejected. I got rejected. Like, whatever. Like, keep it moving. Like, the shame and the embarrassment. Like, I'm so over it. Like, I'm so over the shame and the embarrassment. Funny story. I got a haircut yesterday. Okay? No, yesterday. The day. Anyways, you see this?
Love the haircut. We're loving it. We're loving the lineup.
You look fresh.
Thank you. That was really nice. And I was out. I was literally, as soon as I walked out, I just was recording this video because I was just feeling myself. Like I was just feeling myself. And so I recorded the video. I posted the video. My barber also, I guess, was watching me from the window of the barbershop and recorded me recording the video, okay? And like posted it. I was like, what the F would you post this? And I was like, wait, I actually find this hilarious. Like I'm laughing, I watched it, I was laughing like 10 times. Like the fact that this guy caught me like literally posting like, on the street. And I'm like, I'm gonna post it back too. I find this
The
hilarious.
video's hilarious. You have to go to social media after and watch it. It's hilarious.
I'm like in that moment, like for a second, I'm like, oh, I felt embarrassed. And then for literally, I just reharnessed the energy. I'm like, actually, this is making me feel good. And
Yeah.
so just reharness your energy. And so, yeah, if you got rejected, I would actually reharness that and be like, actually, I got the interview, didn't get it, but I got the interview. Next one.
Yes.
Next one. And so when you do get it, you can walk in and be like, 5 other people rejected me, but hey, look where I am now. They're the winner. When I was applying to school, there's some schools that rejected me. And some of those schools have asked me to speak for them.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Years later, you know what I mean? It's hilarious. Wasn't you guys, okay? Wasn't you guys? Just saying.
But even like, look at your favorite artists or
Yeah.
whoever. They use like the negative things in their life, the tragedies in their life to create beautiful like artwork. Everything is inspiration. Everything should motivate you. And if you get rejected, like Brandon said, use it. And or if you have negativity, Peter Cash, who I worked with, he was always telling me whenever I would get down on myself, like I'd see a negative comment or someone would be being mean to me or something. He played a cat. There's a Cat Williams skit called Haters. If you just look it up on YouTube. And he just talks about like, you need haters. It shows you're doing well. It shows people are paying attention. So if you've got 2 haters today, you need 8 haters by next week. And then you need 20 haters. And then, you know what I mean? It's you're alive, you're doing something, you're making a dent. And that's why the rejection or the negativity is going to come. It should honestly just motivate you like, okay, clearly I'm doing something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
They're watching and they're talking.
You're watching.
I must be doing something. I love that. All right, our next question is from Brandy. And their question is, how do you know something is your dream job? They said that they applied to teachers college and didn't get in. And now they're kind of feeling discouraged and thinking about a different path. So kind of those feelings that you're just talking about, Brandon.
I mean, so how do you know if it's your dream job?
Yeah.
You're not gonna know until you're doing it. Like you're not. There's a lot of people who think like, oh, this is gonna be my dream job. This is what I always wanted. And then you get there and the environment is the most toxic environment in the world. Like you're the most unhappiest you've ever been in your life. And this is supposed to be your dream job. No, it's not your dream job anymore. What you thought was your dream job wasn't actually your dream job. So then you reimagine things. So it's like, don't set the expectation like this is my dream job. No, this is where you want to get to. You're going to hope that it's going to be a bountiful experience for yourself, but don't set yourself up for that expectation because jobs are jobs. Okay. If there's one thing, I'm going to tell everybody jobs are jobs, and jobs have a lot of issues that come with them. And so you just want to make sure you're doing something that is fulfilling you. So that way, all of the extra stuff that you have to deal with doesn't weigh on you because you're still fulfilled from within.
Yeah.
It's so good. A job is a job. We got another question from Shirley, I believe. And they're asking, how do you stay authentic and expressive? And they said that, everyday habits or tips that make life better. So kind of like assuming a 2-part question. But just how do you stay authentic in what you do? I throw that, Blake. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me personally, I don't really know any other way to be. And I don't like feeling uncomfortable and doing things I know like on brand, off brand, but you'll know when something doesn't feel right to you. And you can tell when you watch other creators and media people doing something and you're like, that is not genuine. That is not their, like you can, and it makes me cringe. So I try to stick to things that get me excited, that make me feel joy, that I'm interested in, a story that gets me, and even say when I'm doing my show, if I have like 5 different stories I want to share, well, which one's got me excited? Which one do I have something I can relate to? Which one do I have a jump off story? So I don't need to share all 5 stories. Maybe I only share 2 because those 2 stories like felt authentic to me. So I'm going to share it.
I love that. did you want to go, Brandon? I saw you're like.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if did you want me to answer?
Yeah.
How do you stay authentic?
Yeah.
Just be yourself. Now, here, let me also say this. It's not, especially if you have a public facing job, like being authentic takes time to find yourself and feel comfortable with yourself. It also takes time for the audience to trust that too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to prove that, okay, you have the fundamentals and the foundation down packed first. like the principles of the job. And then once people can trust that, okay, no matter what, like he's gonna give me the facts, then now we can accept the personality. But don't just give me personality and there's no substance. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a broadcasting job, I'm talking in that type of terms. But even any corporate job, like, yeah, a great personality is great, but I prefer a hard worker, somebody who knows what they're talking about, who can get the job done. So have the foundation first, and then bring yourself to the table. Bring your personality to the table.
Agreed.
People gotta trust people, and I think you've said it so clear. Like, it's just a natural thing. We don't have that inclination to trust if you're not being authentic. People are gonna know. So we want to really make sure that we're being ourselves, being true to ourselves. I'm gonna throw.
Are you drinking wine?
That was no, I wish. It's a ginger ale.
Oh.
Just for the aesthetic.
No one told me.
I have my bottles of wine waiting after the call is done.
Okay.
I'll pull out mine. Okay. All right, I'll throw a few more questions. So the next one is from, I believe, Leslie, and is, how do you both practice self-care when things get difficult with your career life? I love that question.
Yeah, Brandon, what's your self-care routine? I feel like yours is probably more extensive than mine.
I go through my motions. I'm an avid person who will dip out of the country or dip out of the city for 4 days. Like I love a 4-day vacation near a beach. One of the things, like, water for me is everything. So I love just being by a body of water. And I think I developed that living out west, where I would just go by the ocean, sit down, and I would turn off and it was the only time my brain would turn off. Like, my brain is always going like this, to the point where it's like I trip over my words very easily because I'm now thinking of the next 10 sentences, which is like, whoa, why the hell is the brain doing that? And so I love to be by a body of water. So I like to take vacation. Like, it makes me super, super happy. And then I like to watch some trash reality TV, like the most stupid reality TV that you could ever imagine. So you don't have to think, and you can just watch the debauchery of other people and be like, see, other people are just as messy as myself, and I love it.
So you probably would have loved. What was it? America's Funniest Videos? I think that show.
Oh no, what? That's so PG.
No, we're talking real trash.
Yeah.
We're talking like what? Like Too Hot to Handle, Love Island, Some Real Housewives.
Oh, the stuff with the tea, like the juicy tea.
Yeah, you know, a couple drinks flying across the table. Yeah, you got to see something. You know what I mean?
I take it back, Brandon. We have the same self-care routine, because that's exactly what I do. Sometimes you need to dip out and just also be in nature and just force yourself to be in a place where you can't do your job. Like, there's always little things you can do, but where you're forced to take a step back. I think also I have to constantly give myself permission, especially right now on like some of the days where I'm mentally just not feeling good. And I'm like, okay, you're going to take today off. It's okay that it's Tuesday and 12 o'clock and you're still sitting on the couch watching reality shows because you decided today you're going to take it off. And tomorrow we're going to get back at it. Tomorrow you'll be on fire. You'll send all the emails. You'll get all your stuff done. But today I'm just going to have a day off, and saying it to myself, giving myself the permission that I'm going to chill out, or I'm not going to respond to those DMs right now. I'm going to take a minute off social media, just taking a break. And I'm the same way with the trashy shows. Like, I need to shut my brain off. Like, my friends will be like, did you see this documentary? And I'm like, that's not what I want right now. Like, I want a bottle of wine, and I want my Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, those are the women that are there for me in my hardest time. Okay. God bless Eddie Cohen. Like, thank you for all of that stuff. It does. It just helps my brain.
Yeah. And I think
almost fell off my chair.
Oh. I think both of you are mimicking it well. Like, sometimes we just need a good laugh. I think life gets so hard. I think I'm in a space where I'm actually learning what it means to be an adult. I thought 18 and 19 was good. Like, now, like, 2 jobs and having to make lunch before you go to bed, I'm like, oh, this is not it. But I think sometimes you sit back, it's like,
good luck.
I said, I need to go back. Like I need to go back. My parents, I don't know how they did it, but sometimes we forget like it's okay to sit back and just laugh, and take a breather, rest in whatever way works best, and once you kind of recuperate, then you can go back to doing what you do. So
Yeah. What did they say? Like, if your cup's not full or you're an empty cup, or I don't know. But if if you're drained, you're not going to be as good at your job. You're not going to be as authentic at your job, as motivated, as inspired. So you've got to step back and take care of it.
100%. We got a question from Nora, which is a pretty good one. So Nora said that I'm starting a new career. How am I going to market myself in this COVID time?
Oh my gosh. What do you mean how you gonna market yourself? You get online. Everybody's online. You gotta be online. Oh my gosh. If you're not on LinkedIn,
Come
that's
on,
one of the
LinkedIn.
biggest things. Yeah, everybody needs to be on LinkedIn and have a proper LinkedIn photo. Okay. Just have a club photo. Okay. I mean, you shouldn't have a club photo.
I haven't changed my LinkedIn photo in 10 years. I think I have red hair.
Oh, it's the ones where like it's like right up like at their face. I was like, okay.
But like a nice LinkedIn photo, do a proper LinkedIn profile. It is probably one of the best best pieces of advice. What was in my cup?
Yeah, I don't believe you. Ginger ale, not
ginger
at
ale.
all. Just ginger ale, sure.
I joke. But it's probably one of the best pieces of advice I would give young people, especially students, is to start networking on LinkedIn. Everybody's digital now. That's what the pandemic did. So if you don't have a digital presence, you don't need 10,000 followers. I'm just saying you need to have a digital presence so that people can find you and that you can connect with people, because that's where all the connections are happening. That's how you're meeting people. That's where you can send out requests and so forth. So I would market, if I was Nora, get that LinkedIn profile, and whatever you specialize in, start putting that up on your Instagram and make that part of your digital presence. So when people are looking at your Instagram account, because employers do that, like when I hire, I do that. Like I look at the candidate's Instagram profile. What are they posting about? It tells you a lot about who the person is. So make that part of who you are. Make that part of the experience.
And also, it's free.
Yeah.
Instagram is free marketing. You don't have to buy radio advertising, TV ads, billboards. You can market yourself on social networks, on TikTok, on this and stuff for free. So take advantage of that. And maybe you don't get a lot of traction at first, but just be consistent and keep putting yourself out there, and it'll grow for free.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's so good. I know for me, LinkedIn was that one thing where I was talking to students yesterday and I said, I know LinkedIn can feel like that weird space is only for like top tier professionals. And I'm like, I want LinkedIn to be a space, or at least I try to make it a space where students can feel like they have a space there. And it's not just about your latest like job update or your latest accomplishment, but simply a space where you can grow and showcase your talent. So I think that's a good platform to use too. Awesome. I hope I don't get your name wrong. I think it's Priyanka. But Priyanka said that this is not a question, but as a student, I'm skeptical about the competitive environment and I feel not very confident about jobs. I need tips on how to stand out.
Oh, Priyanka. The fact that you asked the question, you're standing out. So good job for you.
You
let me know who Priyanka is. Yeah. Shout out to Priyanka for having the courage to ask the question. You just stood out, girl. That's your first step.
Yeah.
That literally is your first step to standing out, like having the guts to ask a question that you were nervous about. So step one, ask a question.
Yes.
Right? How do I stand out? Okay, well, another way to stand out is just by presenting yourself to who you want to present yourself to. This is going to sound stupid, but it actually isn't. Priyanka, if you're nervous about standing out, I think the clubs are opening now, or the bars are opening. No, you guys got to understand this. Like the social environments will help break down barriers.
Yeah.
Step outside to the bar. Okay? Go to a karaoke bar and go sing a song of karaoke and stand out. Like, seriously, it sounds stupid, but it's really not. Like, if you can overcome those little things, you're not going to have a problem standing out in the workplace.
Yeah.
Because, girl, you just did it on stage, singing your heart out, and you couldn't even hit a note. But who cares? You felt comfortable. So get comfortable in putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and being uncomfortable.
Exactly. Being uncomfortable. Yeah, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
And like I said earlier, like if you lack a little bit of confidence, I feel like acting classes are like the improv classes are really great to get you like quick on your feet. And just know also everyone's feeling like you. You're not the only person who's feeling not so confident or a little insecure or a little anxious. Like you're in the same boat with everyone, whether maybe the people in your class maybe act like they have all the confidence and they'll be fine. No, deep down, everyone's a little scared. And I think again, human, a little bit of nerves, a little bit of like, you know, like you need that to fuel you, to drive you, and to just keep going. So just remember, you are not alone. Everyone is kind of feeling like this. And again, you got to just do it. Scare yourself and you'll surprise yourself.
Blake, that was so good because actually Rihanna also came up with something. There's this viral sound on TikTok, and she was saying something like, "What do I do?" I think the reporter was asking her, "Like, what do you do on days when you're not feeling yourself?" And she said, "Fake it. I fake it."
Yeah.
Well, fake it. Like, fake it till you make it. Like, do your thing.
And honestly, that's what I did. I literally faked it till I made it.
Yeah.
And on hard work. Like, honestly, like you said to Brandon, yes, okay, great personality. But then if you get hired somewhere and you don't want to put in the effort, the work ethic isn't there, and the quality of your work isn't there, it doesn't matter how charming you were in school or how charming you were in that interview. If you can't perform once you get that job, that matters more. So be good at your craft first.
Yeah.
And confidence is going to come.
For sure. I love that. I love that. We just want to shout out someone, I believe it's Masanda. And she said, I just started my blog journey. I used my personal experience, my mental health struggles, and life as a single mom as a basis for my platform. What advice can you give me to reach a bigger audience? Also, the biggest fan.
Well, congratulations, first of all, on launching it. And you took the first step, you did it. You created it. And I think it kind of goes back to what we were saying with the marketing yourself. Use the free resources that you have. Because when you're just starting out, you don't have a ton of money to invest in yourself. So use your social media, use the connections you have, tag brands, get reposts, as many as you can, you know, utilize all the free social media platforms that you can and word of mouth and get out there. And so people know your name.
Yeah. I love that. And I love
it's so true though. It's so true. Like if you're looking for, you know, the Toronto Star to write an article about you for you to blow up, girl, we're in 2022. You know, like how you blow up now is, you know, these things.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want you guys don't need to see my messages, but you know, these things. And so like you know your story. You're already sharing your story, you know, on your blog, which is amazing. So turn that into stories for more people to see. Share that story on all the various, you know, you can start a YouTube channel, you could start a TikTok, you know, you could start an IG, like you can go Pinterest, like there are so many avenues and ways to reach an audience that's not confined to the GTA or to Ontario or to Canada. That's the beauty of this thing. Like it's the world is accessible right here. It's never been easier to put yourself out there and to grow an audience.
So good. And I think that's true. Like everyone's on their phone. Like
everybody.
Like my mom is trying to be on her phone with WhatsApp. And I'm like, okay, Mom. Like, you're still growing, but everyone is on the phone. So that's the perfect market right now to really just push yourself and just take a leap. I have a personal question for both of you, if you don't mind. And I feel like it's a question that a lot of people have, but I just want to ask for the people who might be in the audience today, and they think that what they're trying to do might be too insignificant or just who they are as a person. Like they might be watching saying, God, there's no way I can be up here talking to Brandon or talking to Blake. How do you speak to people like that and encourage them to believe that like this can be them too? Like they can be in this chair talking to both of you. They have that in them.
Can I just say, like, the first thing that comes to mind when you're saying that, like, no matter what it is you want to do, like, we're in this crazy time right now where anything can make money. There's a girl selling her farts in a jar, okay? If she can make money, and she's got tons of media press now, she's doing interviews, like, she's making a whole new brand off this. Like, you can do anything. None of your ideas are stupid. Do you know what I mean? People make money off videos, so you just watch them eat on YouTube. So there is a market, an avenue for anything, whatever your mind can dream up now with using social media tools and stuff like that. You can do anything, nothing stupid. Again, she's selling farts in a jar and making money. Like there's no stupid idea. There's no stupid project. Just I think the first step is doing it.
Yeah. And also remember, like, everybody was where you were at too. Like, like, I know, like, for a lot of people, it's like, oh my gosh, look at these guys. They've had such great careers. They're doing great things, and I want to be like them. I want to be like them. You will. You just got to trust the process. Like,
Yeah.
when I was in school, I was also attending these type of talks. I invested in myself, and I listened to the experts and to the industry professionals who took the time to speak to us. And I remember thinking, like, when I was watching, when I was just like the students here, and I was watching, I remember exactly the industry professionals that came on, and I was like, oh, I want to be just like them. I want to be just like them. And then hard work, determination, perseverance got into the industry. I remember it's everybody, even the prime minister. Heck, our prime minister used to be a drama teacher.
Yeah.
And then he became an MP. And then I'm sure he had his sights set on one day being prime minister. His dad was prime minister. I want to be prime minister. How am I going to? Well, he saw it. He believed it. He persevered. He was determined. And look where he is now.
Yeah.
So again, that energy of, oh, what am I going to do? Why do I feel insignificant? No, reharness that energy and allow it to motivate you. I see what they're doing. I like what they're doing. I am going to copy that. I'm going to get where they are. I'm going to put it on my vision board. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to be the best of the best. When I step in the room, people are going to see me. They're going to know me. I'm not going to make that mistake. If I make that mistake, I'm going to learn from that mistake. I'm going to keep on going. Like, that's what you got to tell yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And I think it speaks to that piece of vision. And I love to say you have to see it before you see it. Like, you might not see it like physically, but as long as you see the vision, it's only a matter of time before it happens. And I know for me, like, that's where I'm at. Like, I saw some of these stuff like 5 years ago, and I'm like, I have no clue how this is going to happen. But I know I see it. I know I believe it. And today, like, I get to talk to Brandon and Blake, and I'm like, oh, like, so what I saw was actually okay. So
and we get to talk to all of you. Like,
exactly.
You guys want, like, this is very cool for us. This is huge for us. That people, the fact that anyone cares what we have to say, is interested, and so this is dope for us.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you all for those amazing questions. And thank you both, Blake and Brandon, for those questions. But just to end it off a little bit light, we have this quick lightning round game where I have about 10 questions. And just rapid fire, I want you to give me whatever your answer is, all right?
Okay.
So first question is, have you ever worn socks with sandals?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who has it?
I was very against it for a very long time, but then like years and years and years ago, and then slides with sandals, like, that's like all I wear now. Like,
yeah. It's a good fit. I won't lie. Okay. All right. What is your favorite day of the week and why?
Oh.
It transitions for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get down with that answer.
Like, I love Sundays because I get to go to my mom's and get a home cooked meal, because I'm not one who really loves to cook. Like, I'm very busy. I don't really cook at my place. Like, I'm just like, it's an Uber Eats situation. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I love Uber. I do, for several reasons.
I know.
Does Uber love you is the question.
They do.
Oh yeah, they love us.
So Sunday, but like, I also love a Saturday, and I love a Friday, but I also love a Monday some days, because like Mondays, it's like, ooh, here comes the week. Like, how we like, what we gonna grab next? Like, what are we gonna achieve this week? Like, I kind of love that energy. The days I don't like is Tuesday. Like, Tuesday and Wednesday are weird for me.
That's so funny, because Brandon, on the show that I was doing on Flow, that was Peter's thing. He hated Tuesdays. Tuesdays were always like, because you're so far from the weekend, but it's like not Monday. And then and the weird things always seem to happen on Tuesdays.
All the time on the Tuesday. It's
like, what's up with Tuesdays?
Oh no,
I agree with you too on Sundays. Sundays, especially when I was doing an afternoon show. Like, right now, every day is a Sunday for me, or a Friday night. It doesn't matter. But when I didn't have to get up at 4 a.m, when I did an afternoon show, so I could like have my Sunday family dinner, get together with my friends I make food with. You know, those are like really nice because you can kind of chill. You don't have to go to this party or do that or do this. I do like that. But I also like the start of the weekend. And again, like I said, like right now, it's a really long extended weekend for me. So
Yeah.
even
Okay.
Tuesdays are okay right now.
Come on, Toonie Tuesdays.
And Taco Tuesday.
Ah, Taco
Taco
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
Yeah, some good stuff. All right, now you
Taco-
can tell us if you want to share this, but what nicknames has your parents or friends? What nicknames do they call you?
Oh gosh. I will say, and it sounds very inappropriate, but it's not. My mom, like growing up, she says like my nickname was Motor Mouth because I just talk so much and so fast. Which now I'm like, Mom, stop telling people that. That's horrible. But it made sense, and now I talk for a living. So
Yeah, it worked out. Oh man.
Um, this is why Blake is amazing. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Nicknames for me. People in high school, in my high school, they always called me by my last name, like Gonez.
Okay.
Or they'd call me like BG. Like, and even to this day, like, I get BG.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much. I never had any random nicknames, like
Okay.
anything to be excited about. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that works. That works. All right, I'll throw it at you until Blake comes back. So
Mhm.
would you okay, so would you rather be able to speak every language in the world, or would you be able to
Mhm.
talk, or would you desire to talk to animals instead if you had a choice?
No, I want to speak every language in the world.
Animal?
I don't want to talk to animals. What do I want to talk to animals for? Why would I want to talk to animals? They
This
can
is the
hear us.
worst
They
question.
understand us.
Sorry, Brandon, you answer.
I'm like, the dogs already understand what's going on, and
Oh
even when they,
man.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't even talk to animals. I want to talk to people. I want to talk to more people. You know,
Yeah.
without needing a translator there with me. Like, I want to understand when people are talking behind your back. You know, when you
Oh
use French
boy.
and like they're like, what's going on here? What are you saying? Eh?
Did you want to know the question, Blake?
That question?
So it was, if you had a choice, would you rather want to learn every single language in the world and be able to speak it, or rather speak
Animals.
to animals?
Animals. I like animals more than I like people. But I also can kind of talk to them because I have a very good friend. He's an animal, like a pet psychic. She's a communicator. It's wild, but he's
Hold on. So wait, if you go out fishing, you're gonna pick up the fish and you're gonna talk to the fish.
I don't really care about fish that much, but yeah, maybe. I would like to know. I want to know why my dog keeps peeing in his crate every day. What is up with you? What's going on? What is off in your world right now that we need to correct? Okay? They are interesting little creatures.
They are. I can say
And then, like,
that.
yes, okay, learning every like you can take the languages, Brandon, then I can learn.
Okay.
You can fill me in, and then I'll just talk to you.
Perfect.
Okay.
I love it. I
Awesome.
love it. That's
Okay, okay. Well, let's go for questions. So, how long does it take each of you to get ready?
Oh, honestly, I can get ready so quickly. It has nothing to do with the actual getting ready. It's
Okay.
the wasting time. I call it dicking
Yeah.
around. I'm the queen of that. Like if you know what, because like it takes time for me. Okay, now I'm gonna put a song on. Now I'm gonna stop and text. Okay, now maybe I got in the shower and I'm thinking in the shower for a bit, and then I get out and then I'm back on the phone. Now I need to make a drink. You know, then I take a phone call. So really, I'm just not. But if I just focus, I can
Yeah.
do. Seriously, I've got it down pat because like of years now of having to do different camera stuff and really quickly before interview comes in, I got to quickly do my makeup. I can do hair and makeup in like 30 minutes.
Okay. Impressive.
I take some time. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
You look like the one who took more time.
I have my routine, and I hate when my routine is cut weirdly because I'll forget something. Like, did I do 2 dabs of the deodorant, or was it just one? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, then I'm like self-conscious for the day. Like, I like to take my shot. Like, I just have my routine,
Yeah.
and getting ready in the morning time is very therapeutic. Like with the shower going, it's like the day hasn't started. You haven't touched a message yet because as soon as you get to that phone, it's over. It's game over.
It's true.
Right. So I just like a nice routine. So yeah, no, I mean, I could take half an hour. I could take an hour. Like it depends. You know what I mean? And I just flow with it. Right. This is my it's my air sign. Like it just moves. I just have to move with the air. Okay.
Okay.
I just think I can't be given too much time. If you give me too much time, like
It's a
It's
wrap.
game over.
It's over, like, yeah.
I love it. All right, last two questions. And the second last one is on a scale of 1 to 10, and you got to be honest, all right? You have to be honest. How good of a driver are you?
Oh,
Oh,
incredible. I am such a good driver.
yeah.
I have to say, I am a great driver.
Impressive.
So you give yourself a 10?
Yeah, I give myself a 12. As long as no one's watching me parallel park.
Oh, yeah. Those are the worst.
Parallel park, it's just when you see someone watching you, you're like,
Yeah. It's worse when they're in the car, like looking at you.
but no, I think, Brandon, are you a good driver?
So here's the thing. I think I'm the best driver. I really do. But I've been told like I drive like I own the road. And so take it how you will. But if you got somewhere to go, if you're with me, you're gonna get there on time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you might be get caught in the crossroads if you're not with me.
Eyelashes off.
You're an aggressive driver. I like it.
But like it also depends on the music. Like, you know, if the music is hitting in the car, like I'm going with the music. You know what I mean? Like if my track is giving like then I'm going with that. And it's like, excuse me, like get out the way, you know.
Got places to go.
You got places to go. Like you only got 24 hours in the day. There's only so many hours to make money. So like you cannot waste it stuck in traffic. That's what the city needs to do better of. They gotta fix the traffic.
For sure. 401, not the way to go.
Never. None of the highways. All a mess. All a hot mess.
All right. Last question for the day is, what does a person need to be happy? Simple.
Two things. Money and love.
Yeah. Great. Ah.
Seriously, you know, really, you need. This is crazy because we're actually talking about this on our episode this Sunday. Like, can money buy you happiness? And I think it can to a certain extent. Because you know what, like, you can't be stressing about the everyday things, about paying bills, like rent, gas prices. Like, look at everything is going up. Like, people are out there in the world stressed.
Yeah.
Themselves to the grave. You know what I mean? So money is very important. Now, the love of money is what gets toxic.
Yeah.
So you achieve where you can sustain yourself and be happy, and then you need love in your life. Whether that's from a partner or your family or from friends, you need that, or else you will be unfulfilled. Because you can have the most money in the world. Trust me. I hear it from all the time from very, very wealthy people. If you don't have something of substance, the money is empty. It's frivolous.
Yeah, who are you going to spend your money on? Who are you going to take your trip? If you're a billionaire and you can fly wherever you want, you have no one to fly with. No one wants to hang out with you. So I was going to, you have like the people that say like money can't buy you happiness or money isn't everything. No, you need to have your bills paid or you're never going to be a happy person if you're constantly.
Yeah.
I think love is family love, friendship love, like I completely agree.
Yeah. I love
and
that.
love yourself. More importantly, love yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if you can't make yourself laugh, like if you can't tell yourself a joke and literally laugh, like are you living?
You need to love yourself like Brandon loves himself in the video, him walking down the street after his fresh haircut.
Come on.
Goals for all of us.
It is.
Like we're spinning around. You did
That's a good day.
Listen, if you don't love you, who gonna love you, boo? Like who
It's
really gonna love you if you don't love you? Yes, you have to love yourself. And it's a process. It takes time to get to that. But once you get to that, hold on to it and never let anybody tear it down from you. Okay?
Yeah. I love that. I encourage everyone, love yourself. Take yourself to the movie. Yorkdale, you can catch me any day at the movies by myself.
Uh-oh.
Mind you, I got a significant other who.
Done that. I have never gone to a movie.
Really?
Oh,
no, you have to try it. I promise you. Like kicked up in the back row.
I do it. I sit on my couch and watch shows. I'm good.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. There's nothing like watching a movie like on the comfort of your own couch. You can press pause,
go to the bathroom whenever you want. You can make drinks.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Okay. Well, have a nice session by yourself. Watch Netflix. Okay, not like that. Not like that, y'all. PG.
Well, that's important too. That's part of self-love and self-care. Maybe that's how you have self-care.
No, it's true. You know what, Blake? You're hitting on something there.
I guess that's part 3 next year. But the point is, we have to love ourselves, all right, y'all? Blake, Brandon, it's been a great time. We all appreciate the time that you sacrificed today to be here. and to share all your wisdom and just all the love. We really do appreciate it. So thank you for coming out to tonight or this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Take
Awesome.
care, guys, and all the best. Wishing you all positivity, and remember to stay focused, stay determined, and go for it. Just go. Take the biggest risk and go for it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Awesome. All right. We'll talk to you all soon.
Alrighty.
All right. Let me know in the chat. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel about that? I see the chat's blown up already. Woo. I think that was such an amazing conversation, and we're grateful for just all that wisdom. I hope you had a pen or a paper and you're writing down all those tips. And don't just write it down, but find time to implement it when you get the chance. And I know you're going to get that chance all month, which I'll talk about next. But we just do want to really, really say thank you. Once again, thank you, Blake. Thank you, Brandon, for all that wisdom. We really do appreciate it. We want to thank Ignite and the Advising and Career Services for putting together this amazing event. And also IT for always ensuring that these events go very smooth. Because without IT, I promise you, you'll be like trying to log in for like an hour. So we do want to really, really thank everybody who played a hand in being a part of this event. And I appreciate that, Ruth. I really do. So you're probably saying, what's next? There's probably some links in the chat. We want your feedback. Not want, we need your feedback because we want to be able to do stuff like this and so many other things to really help you as a student and an alumni be your best self, believe in yourself, and really grow to the capacity that you know you want to grow to. So if you do have a second, my colleagues have posted a link in the chat just to give us your wisdom, give us your advice, give us your feedback so we can really use it and do better. I do want to remind you, as you can see on the screen, so this is the link. You will be seeing some of these QR codes on the screen. So it's that simple. Take that phone as you have, open your camera, scan the QR code. It brings you straight to the career services page and gives you that opportunity to fill out that feedback. Also, the chance to win prizes. I don't know about you, but when I was a student, I loved free money, like absolutely loved. So you get that chance to get entered into the draft to win either $50 in the e-gift card or a career month grand prize of $150. That is gas that somebody needs, or Uber Eats like Brandon loves. So be sure to scan that QR code and please give us your feedback as well. And on the next screen, you're going to see that there's more ways for you to get involved. It doesn't have to stop here, but career services, advising in the career services, they're always doing so much things on your behalf to ensure that you can grow. All right. So from March 1st to the 31st, you still got some time. It's only the 17th. Attend a career workshop or other events that are free. Like Brandon and Blake said, while it's free, take advantage of it because sometimes it might not be free. So I want you to really take advantage of it. Scan that QR code right now, take a picture of it, do what you have to do, get your chance to win something. But other than that, we thank you all for showing up tonight, for listening, for engaging, for showing Brandon and Blake all the love. And we're super looking forward to seeing all of you grow and all of you be who you were meant to be. So on that note, we love you. We hope you have an amazing night or afternoon. And if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out to Advising in Career Services, and we'd be happy to help you, all right? So I hope you all have a great night, and we will talk next year. Take care.